Mikhail Gorbachev is widely regarded as one of the most influential political figures of the 20th century. As the last leader of the Soviet Union, he oversaw sweeping changes in the country's political, economic, and social systems, ultimately leading to the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. Born in 1931 in Stavropol, Russia, Gorbachev grew up in a family of peasants and went on to study law at Moscow State University. He quickly rose through the ranks of the Communist Party, and in 1985, he was elected General Secretary of the party, the highest office in the Soviet Union. Gorbachev came to power at a time of great economic and political stagnation in the Soviet Union. The country was mired in a deep economic crisis, and the political system was characterized by corruption, bureaucracy, and a lack of innovation. Gorbachev recognized that radical reforms were necessary to revive the Soviet Union's economy and political system, and he embarked on a series of ambitious reforms aimed at modernizing the country. One of the most important of these reforms was known as perestroika, which aimed to restructure the Soviet economy and make it more efficient and market-oriented. Gorbachev also introduced glasnost, or openness, which aimed to increase transparency and accountability in the Soviet political system. Gorbachev's reforms were not without controversy, however. Many in the Soviet establishment opposed his reforms, seeing them as a threat to their power and privileges. Gorbachev faced significant opposition from within his party, and he was criticized by hardliners who believed that his reforms were too radical and threatened to undermine the Soviet Union's stability. Despite these challenges, Gorbachev remained committed to his vision of reform and modernization. He recognized that the Soviet Union could not continue to exist in its current form, and he was willing to take bold steps to bring about change. He engaged in a series of high-profile negotiations with leaders in the United States, including President Ronald Reagan, which led to a significant reduction in nuclear arms and helped to ease tensions between the two superpowers. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed, and Gorbachev resigned as General Secretary of the Communist Party. Despite the turmoil and uncertainty of the post-Soviet era, Gorbachev remained committed to his vision of a more open, democratic, and prosperous Russia. Today, Gorbachev is widely regarded as a visionary leader, who played a pivotal role in shaping the course of world history. His reforms laid the groundwork for the democratic and economic reforms that have transformed Russia in the years since the collapse of the Soviet Union. He is also recognized as a symbol of hope and progress for people around the world, who seek to build more just, open, and prosperous societies. Mikhail Gorbachev was a visionary leader who played a pivotal role in shaping the course of world history. He passed away on the 30th of August, 2022. But his reforms aimed at modernizing the Soviet Union's political and economic systems were bold and ambitious, and they ultimately led to the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. Although his reforms were not without controversy and opposition, Gorbachev remained committed to his vision of reform and modernization. His legacy continues to inspire people worldwide who seek to build more just, open, and prosperous societies. Mikhail Gorbachev was a transformative leader who oversaw the collapse of the Soviet Union and the end of the Cold War. Throughout his career, he delivered numerous speeches and interviews, sharing his vision for a more democratic and peaceful world. Here are some of his most famous quotes. "If not me, who? And if not now, when?" This quote reflects Gorbachev's belief in the importance of taking action and seizing the moment. He recognized that leadership required courage and a willingness to take risks, and that there was no time to waste in working towards a better future. The most dangerous thing in any society is the absence of criticism. This quote reflects Gorbachev's belief in the importance of open dialogue and constructive criticism. He recognized that a healthy society required the free exchange of ideas and opinions, and that criticism was essential for identifying and addressing problems. Our aim is to make the USSR a country where the constitution is not just a piece of paper, but where the constitution is implemented. This quote reflects Gorbachev's commitment to democratic reforms and the rule of law. He recognized that the Soviet Union had long been plagued by corruption and abuse of power, and that a true democracy required a government that was accountable to the people. We are all in this together. We are one human family, and we must work together for the common good. This quote reflects Gorbachev's belief in the importance of global cooperation and solidarity. He recognized that the challenges facing humanity were too great for any one country or individual to solve alone, and that we must all work together to create a better world. Peace is not unity in similarity, but unity in diversity, in the comparison and conciliation of differences. This quote reflects Gorbachev's vision for a world in which diversity was celebrated and differences were reconciled through dialogue and understanding. He recognized that peace was not simply the absence of conflict, but a state of mutual respect and cooperation between peoples and nations. These quotes are just a few examples of the wisdom and insight that Mikhail Gorbachev shared with the world. His ideas about democracy, human rights, and global cooperation continue to be studied and debated today, and his legacy as a transformative leader of the 20th century remains secure. We appreciate your support in watching our videos. If you enjoy learning about political, business, and science leaders' biographies and quotes, please consider subscribing to our channel and giving us a thumbs up to help us grow and continue bringing you valuable content.